no, this is not my real hair, but I've really been getting into cosplay and I've realised how much fun you can have with a wig. As someone with naturally dark hair, I've realised how much fun it is to have light hair. And my hair would never go this colour naturally, obviously, but I'm kind of feeling it. Hey everyone, last night I put an Instagram story out and I asked everyone what my theme of reading should be for March. If you don't already know, I've started to theme my reading months because I find that I'm more excited to get through more books in that month, and I've set myself sort of like a goal. February is a month of reading standalones, and so far I've got through 8 books and I will be making a wrap-up video. Hopefully it'll be up next week. Let me get into like a little story time here. So I'm getting married in June and I'm not having a photographer. So my plan was to use my camera and give it to a family friend to take photos at our wedding. I bought the camera of my dreams after 10 years of having a very old Canon camera. I went in and purchased the Canon 6D. It has never left my house. I've took about 10 photos on it and I decided that I was going to try and use it for filming so that you could see all of my skin problems in beautiful HD. So I went to use it to film a video on Wednesday so I could have my midweek video up because I've been trying to post twice a week. And I put the wrong lens on my camera, a £2,000 camera, and I fucking broke it. So another one of the reasons for wearing the wig is that I literally can't bring myself to look at myself in a mirror without calling myself every name under the sun. I hate myself. But as usual, what do I like to do when I'm feeling very depressed? I like to talk about my books. So this is the result of the Instagram story poll that I put out, but I'm really pleased that the TBR Takedown actually won because this is my TBR Shelf and also this one, and as you can see it's pretty much full. I have no space for new books at all. Let me just show you very quickly. So my TBR Shelf is like this one here and this one here, but I'm hoping to just like have this for something else and just have my TBR over here because then it's sort of like easier to manage, you know, and then I've got more room here for books that I've read. And 2020 is shaping up to be a fantastic publishing year. There are so many books coming out that I am dying to get my hands on, and I am so super excited because my best friend Rebecca, I'll put her channel in the description down below, has pre-ordered a copy of the second book in the Eve of Man series, which is my most favourite book of all time. But not only that, it is going to be coming signed. Now let me tell you, I was born in the early 90s. I was a teenager when McFly had their first heyday, and I have seen them in concert with Rebecca herself. So I am so excited because not only am I getting the second in a series of my favourite book ever, I'm also getting a signed copy by hopefully the man himself. I don't actually know if it's coming with his signature or hers or both. Either way, I'm just absolutely thrilled. So I've got quite a bit of reading to do before that comes because I have nowhere to house it otherwise. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 34 books to get to on my TBR shelf. I'm obviously not going to read that much in March because it's not that many days in March. And because it is a TBR takedown, I want to get through as many of these books as possible. So I'm going to pick the ones that I'm most excited to get to because then I'm likely to read a hell of a lot more. So the first one I'm hoping to get around to reading in March is Daisy Jones and the Six, and I have it in this beautiful Waterstones edition. The only problem is Waterstones has stuck 2 stickers on it. 2. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Can someone please leave me a tip on how to get stickers off books? I heard that if you hairdry them, they'll eventually come off, but I don't want to damage the cover. From what I understand of this book, it is a music lover's dream. It's set as sort of like a documentary style, marking the journey of a rock band in the 70s. I think that is what I understand from it. A little known fact about me, I actually love rock music from the 1970s. My uncle was very much into glam rock and it never went away, and he has long black hair. He absolutely adores Ozzy Osbourne. It is a dream of mine to see Black Sabbath on tour. I know that is highly unlikely, but I absolutely love music from that era. So I'm really excited to get through to this. A book that I'm just as excited for is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson is one of my favourite authors of all time in the fantasy and sci-fi genre. I think this is a beautiful cover. And again, from what I understand of this book, is that it is set in the future. It's a mix of fantasy and sci-fi. Humanity has been under attack for hundreds of years by an alien race. They are dying out, and a pilot is trying to save the human race. I really love space operas and anything about like wars in space. Illuminati is one of my favourite series of all time, and this gives me a little bit of that vibe, so I'm really hoping that I really enjoy this. Number 3 on my list is The Last by Hannah Jameson, another Absolutely stunning cover. Maybe this should be the month of just stunning covers instead of TBR Takedown, because I swear I can't with the art. This is sort of semi-apocalyptic. A nuclear war's happened. You are a character that is stuck in a hotel with 19 other guests. A guest ends up getting murdered and it is your job to find out who did it. So it's sort of like a whodunit crime novel with a really interesting setting, and I'm really excited to get around to reading this, just off the back of reading The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which if you've seen in my previous videos, I've absolutely loved. It was one of the best books I've ever read. I'm looking forward to getting through to another whodunit. Number 4 is The Poppy War, which is the first in a series. Again, what sounds. This book is of the fantasy genre. I've been hearing great things about it. The only issue is it comes in at over 500 pages, and it actually looks like it's going to be a really long read because the writing is like super small as well. One of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to getting around to reading this book is because it's a fantasy set in parallels of Asian history, and it uses Chinese history and culture to weave their fantasy world. Our main character is Rin. She's the peasant girl who gets into an elite military school, and she realizes that she possesses powers from the gods. I get sort of like Mulan vibes from this, and another fact about me, Mulan is the best Disney movie of all time. Do not at me. I stand by what I say. There will never be another Disney movie as good as the animated Mulan. Captain Li Shang is the bisexual Disney hero that nobody knew that they needed. Anyway, getting back to the book. The wars between their empire and another one which keeps invading them are called Poppy Wars, and we are coming up to the 3rd Poppy War, so I assume our main character is going to play a vital part in that war and protecting her empire. We'll see. Book number 4, Too Like the Lightning, by Ada Palmer, which is the first book in the Terra Ignota series. Again, fantasy sci-fi genre. I can't actually sum up it better than what is actually said on the back, because what is said on the back makes it sound so good. So I'm just going to go ahead and read that. The year is 2454. Humanity has engineered a hard-won golden age, forged in the aftermath of a bitter conflict that wiped out both religion and nation state from the planet. 7 factions or hives have co-governed the world for 3 centuries, their rule fueled by careful censorship or oracular statistical analytics and technological abundance. Convicted for his crimes, celebrated for his talents, Mycroft Cannon is the indentured instrument and confidant of some of the world's most powerful figures. When he is asked to investigate a bizarre theft, he finds himself on the trail of a conspiracy that could shatter the fragile world order. Why am I out of breath? God, I go to the gym. Sort of, I've not been for 3 weeks. But Mycroft has his own secrets. He is concealing a much greater threat to the 7 hives, a wildcard no degree of statistical analysis could have prophesied. This threat takes the unlikely form of the 13-year-old. For now, will a world that has banished God deal with a child who can perform miracles? Oh my god, that sounds absolutely amazing. I can't wait to get around to reading this book, but again it comes in at a hefty 533 pages. I can't wait. I've heard so many good things about this series, but it came out in 2016 and I know many books have been published since then, so I feel really out of the loop, but I can't wait to catch up. I realise I've been very over the top in this video, but books make me excited, especially books with pretty covers. Book number, I don't know, I lost count, is The Born Season by Samantha Shannon. I know that this is going to be a very lengthy series. I believe there's 7, maybe 8 books that have been commissioned in this series. It is a crime. It is by Samantha Shannon, who is also the author of The Priory of the Orange Tree. I've known of this book since it came out, but I just never felt compelled to pick it up. But after I read The Priory of the Orange Tree and I read how amazingly written it was, I wanted to pick up more of her books. The Born Season is a fantasy crime novel. The main character is Paige Mahoney. She's 19 years old and she works in the criminal underworld of Scion, London. Her job is to break into people's minds and steal information. Sounds a little bit like Inception, also one of the best movies of all time, with one of the best actors of all time. No, it's not Tom Hardy, it's Leonardo DiCaprio, but Tom Hardy comes as a close second. Seems like a quick read, seems like my cup of tea. I just hate that on the back, the Daily Telegraph, I give up. That on the back of the Daily Telegraph, compare it to the Hunger Games. I mean, there's better series that you can compare a crime to, I guess. But I don't know, we'll see how it goes. 7 years ago when I was just finding Booktube, this was one of the books that everybody raved about. It is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. When I was a teenager, I did read a lot of Maggie Stiefvater, whatever she had at the time. But I always said to myself I would only buy this book secondhand. And in 2020, I actually found it secondhand after 7 years. I feel like this could potentially be a product of its time. You know, a lot of books like sort of like Twilight and 50 Shades, they're very much of their time and people like them in that time, but if they go back and reread them, they find it's not as great. I'm really worried that this is going to be one of them. I feel like I don't need to tell you anything about it because there's a million videos on YouTube that do wrap-ups including this. But I just want to read it because it's one of the books that everybody read. Just so I can join in on the conversation because, I don't know, I could be missing out. But it could also be very overhyped. This is the book that I'm expecting to not like as much as the other ones. Like, I think I'll start a ranking system for the books that I've read in that month. And I expect that this one would be at the bottom of the pile. I'm just hoping that at 26 years old, this isn't like too young for me. Even though I love YA with my heart, I read probably more YA books in a year than any other. I'm just really hoping that this isn't dated. But please let me know if you've reread this in the past year, and if you did your thoughts change? Did you still like it as much, or did you think, wow, that was better when I was a lot younger? Well, I'm really being ambitious with this month because I just have to. I have so much I want to read. So the next book is Therithmatist by Brandon Sanderson. I've just realised another Brandon Sanderson book for this month. I ain't mad. I did feature this in my last book because I do have this signed by Brandon Sanderson himself. If you haven't seen my last video, go and look at it because there is a chance for you to win a signed Robin Hobb or a signed Sarah J Maas book. It has a very long length on the giveaway, so chances are it's still open. So for Vanessa, I'm going to imagine this says, I love you so much, Brandon Sanderson. I've had this book for so many years, but I've been putting off reading it just because I don't want to break the spine, because I truly love this book. This book is priceless, just for the fact that it's signed by one of my favourite authors. Our main character is Joel, and he is at a school for magic. From what the back says, he's not that great at magic, but when the top students from this magical academy start going missing, he takes it upon himself to find out where they've gone, who has kidnapped them, or they murdered. I have a feeling that his talents will develop in other ways outside of the expected magic, so I don't know, it sounds pretty fun. I'm looking forward to getting around to reading it. I do believe this is a standalone novel. Brandon Sanderson, I do associate him with long book series, so I'm interested to see how he manages to wrap up an entire plot in this. Okay, I think we're going to do one more. So the final book for the month of March is A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which seems to be everyone's current favourite retelling in the YA genre. Is this another Stigger? Oh, I swear to God. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I'm really hoping that it is better than other Beauty and the Beast retellings that I've read. Namely this one right here, which you can win signed if you want, but personally didn't like it. The main female character is called Harper, and oh, I love that name. And the Beast is such as a prince who is cursed to repeat the summer that he turns 18 over and over until a girl is able to break the curse. Because it says on the back, Harper's life has never been easy, but she's learned to be tough enough to survive the streets of Washington DC. I assume this is a modern setting. Let me just see. I sort of expected this would have like a fantasy setting. No, come on, it must do, because it has like a map and everything. And most fantasy books have maps. Let's just see if I can flick through, and if it says sword or knight somewhere. Oh no, there's text messages. Maybe it's a bit of both. Anyway, it's part of the series, so I can only assume that we don't get the wrap up of this plot in this book. But I'm really looking forward to getting around to reading it because I love fairy tale retellings. I think they work so well for YA because we're Disney kids. We just love the plots. And to have your favourite childhood cartoon come back to life in a novel in a different way, I actually love it. One of the best series I've ever read is the Cinder series by Marissa Meyer. I think it's a fantastic modern twist on an old tale, so I'm really looking forward to getting around to reading this. Okay, so that was my really ambitious TBR for the month of March. I do think though that I'm going to be okay. I think I'm going to get through it because I have so many great books on the list that I know like I'm going to want to get through them so I can get around to that one. I don't know which one to start off with. I'm probably going to start with Daisy Jones and the Six though. I may just read them in the order that I've talked about them on here. Anyway, I'm just so excited to be making room for more books. If you want to influence what I read in April, look in the link down below for my Instagram. I'll put a story out at the end of March with a little poll. It's been so close this month, so I'm hoping that next month is a more definitive winner. I'm thinking either a finishing series, which seemed to be a popular choice, and also books over 600 pages. I have quite a few of them that I need to get around to. If you haven't already, watch my previous video for the chance to win a signed copy of Sarah J Maas's A Coat of Thorn and Roses, or a book by Robin Hobb, which is a pristine copy of The Mad Ship signed by Robin Hobb herself. And I'll see you in my February wrap-up. Bye! This book is of the